YouTube, man, what's going on with y'all? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Hope y'all doing good today. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about and covering drums. Once again, it's been a minute since I uploaded the video where I just fully focused on the drums without making the sample first, because for the ones who watch my videos, y'all know that probably half of my video, maybe like 70% always is me just making the sample. You feel me? Like, that's a big part of my videos, and after that I just lay down some drums, right? But I never really go in depth into drums. And the times where I made videos where I 100% focused the entire video on drums and how to lay down drums, how to make them sound good, how to find pockets in drums, what sounds to add, where to add them, all that stuff. When I really went in depth, that's probably my most viewed videos on my channel. I'll pop them up right here. Just look at the views. Yeah, that shit crazy. So yeah, that's why I figured it was only right to give y'all a updated drum tutorial. Also looking at the amount of comments that I'm still receiving under every single one of my videos of y'all talking about my drums and complimenting my drums. So yeah, no sample today, just drums, man. Let's get right into it. Alright, man, so as y'all can see, I already got a sample loaded up in FL. I made this last night at like 4 a.m. I'll give y'all a little preview real quick. Also just arranged it. It's a 16-bar intro right here, 16-bar hook, 16-bar verse, and an 8-bar bridge right here. So I'm going to be adding drums in this part, the hook and the verse, and this is going to be just a sample playing in these two sections right here. But that's besides the point. I'll give you a little preview of the sounds. Got this pad, it's the main sound. Sounds really good, man. Like, probably one of my favorite melodies that I've made this year. Also got a little grand piano, a vocal, key bass, and a lead in this section. Beautiful, bro. Got two other pads right here. Pitch the vocal down one octave. I'm not gonna get too in depth into the arrangement, but I'm just showing y'all the sounds. Also got a second choir right here. That shit mesmerizing, bro. That shit crazy. So yeah, it's only right to add some drums to this sample, of course. So I'm gonna create a new pattern. That's how I usually start my drums. I usually make the sample first and then get into the drums. So next I arrange it, lay down the pattern like this. Let's highlight this section. And as y'all can see, this is the first tip that I can give y'all to make your drums hit. Is, as y'all can see, I automated a EQ right here at the top. That's what I do in every single one of my beats for the ones who are seeing me for the first time. What I do is I highlight all my melodies, and that's a great tip for mixing. I highlight all my melodies and send it to one mixer track. This one right here. And I process it with some EQs and all that stuff. But after that, I ended out with an EQ that cuts away the low end. So I put a high pass on the EQ and I cut around 160 hertz. I cut that off the low end of the sample. You feel me? I cut that out. Next, I automate it so that the low end gets cut out in the part where it's a sub or an 808 playing. You feel me? So the low end in the sample doesn't clash with the 808, and that also makes your 808 stand out a lot more. You feel me? You're making a lot of room for that 808 by cutting it out of the sample, right? So that's how the 808 really punches through in my mix. And of course, if you have no 808 playing, for example, this part right here, I have the automation disabled so that there's still low end in the sample, you feel me? So you don't always cut out the low end of your sample. That will make it sound very thin, and it's not going to sound good. So only cut out the low end in the parts where there is a sub bass or an 808 playing, you feel me, in the drum sections. So yeah, these 16, like 32 bars, if I'm not mistaken, this part right here. So that's my first tip for y'all when it comes to the mixing, of course. So now I'm gonna lay down the drum pattern, of course. Hi-hat, snare, open hat, sub bass, 808. I might give y'all some examples of using the kick as well for the ones who like to use kicks, and just how to make your drums sound good in general. I might give y'all some tips when it comes to the mixing, of course. And every single drum sound, for the ones who don't know, came from this one website. I forgot what it's called, bro. I get all of my drum kits off that site. I forgot what it's called. Dirkey.shop, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. That shit called Dirkey.shop, bro. Got my Heaven Sent drum kit right here, my Make Believe collection kit right here, and my Rookie Season drum kit right here. These are all the sounds that I'm going to be using in today's beat and in all of my beats, basically. Got every single drum sound in it you need to lay down hard drums. Got my drum library right here. Kicks, hi-hats, cymbals, all the drum kits you need, all the drum sounds you need, man. Dirkey.shop if you're still looking for the highest quality drum sounds on the market, man. Being used by industry producers, Billboard producers, and me, bro. That's crazy. So, I either start out with a 808 or a sub bass, or with a hi-hat and a snare. So I'm gonna just start out with a hi-hat and a snare for today's beat. That's how I start like 80% of my beats. Sound selection is really important. Like, of course, not every single hi-hat is gonna sound good with your sample. You feel me? It depends what kind of vibe you want to go for. So if we take a listen to the sample, it's really ambient, right? So with ambient melodies, you can either go very light hi-hats. I'm gonna give y'all an example. I get one from my make-believe collection. I know this one is a very like subtle hi-hat, right? And I know it's gonna sound good, but that might not be the type of style that you're trying to go for. You feel me? Of course, this sounds good and it matches the sample, right? Just go some past some other sounds. It's also a real subtle one. This one is a little bit more harsh, right? And some people might not like that. You feel me? Like a very subtle hi-hat might sound good on this ambient sample since it's kind of the same vibe. You feel me? The sample is very ambient and all over the place, very subtle. You also want to complement that with a subtle hi-hat. Or you can go the complete opposite direction and go for a harsh hitting hi-hat to really kind of give contrast to the sample. You feel me? You got a smooth sample and you get the high, you feel me? Like the very sharp hard hitting hi-hats and the hard hitting snares punching through the sample, same as with the 808. A very hard-hitting 808 will sound really good on this beat, or you can go for a little bit more subtle sub bass, for example, with a kick. Really depends what kind of tone you want to set for the beat. For this beat, I think I want to add some contrast to it, so I'm going to just add a very hard-hitting 808 and hard-hitting drums, you feel me? So I got this one hi-hat in my Hat Snare drum kit, this one right here, and I know it's going to sound good. You feel me? Also go for this one, but I want a very sharp, harsh-hitting hi-hat. Let's go for this one out of my Hat Snare drum kit. So that's pretty much what I think about when it comes to the sound selection of the drums. And of course, it's important to have high-quality drum sounds. You feel me? So yeah, for now, I usually leave my hi-hats like this, and I come back to it after I added the snare and stuff like that. You feel me? Since hi-hat rolls aren't my main priority when it comes to beats. You feel me? Sometimes a two-step hi-hat works, and I'm not trying to do too much when I still got more sounds to add. So I usually add the basics of every single sound, and after that, I might tweak them, add some rolls to the hi-hats, add some more 808s to it, might add a kick to it. So yeah, for now, this already sounds good. So now I'm gonna find a snare that sounds good with it. Like, of course, I'm gonna give y'all some examples of stuff that won't work, but it's really no rules to this music shit. Like, you could go for whatever you think sounds good. I like to turn my snare up all the way. The velocity's right. You feel me? This doesn't really sound good to me. It's not really what I'm trying to go for. You feel me? This one as well. It's a great counter snare, but it's not, you feel me, really serving the main snare purpose. So I know this one will sound good. Very hard-hitting snare, this one too. This one out of my make-believe collection, I like to use this one as well. You feel me? Hard-hitting snares. This one too out of my rookie season drum kit. I used to use this one a lot. Y'all get what I mean, right? Harsh-hitting hi-hat, harsh-hitting snare. Already sounds really good. So let's actually add some hi-hat rolls at this stage. I don't usually add it at this stage, but I'm trying to cover the hi-hats and the snares first, and after that, cover the sub basses, the kicks, and the 808s. What I like to do with my hi-hats is I like to take out notes as well. I usually just start out with the first 4 bars, make sure those sound good, and after that, just copy it over. I might make some adjustments on the second part. So for now, just to kind of make it a little bit less overwhelming, I'm going to take those last 4 bars out. And you can start taking out notes. You can start by adding rolls to it, you feel me? Of course, that's too much, but I might take out a few notes here and there. So for the hi-hat rolls, I like to be in third step. So 1/3 step, 1/6 beat, or 1/3 beat. I prefer to use those in my hi-hat rolls. So when adding hi-hat rolls and when adding drum sounds in general, I also want to keep in mind my sample. You feel me? Like where certain elements of my sample are very present, where it's a lot going on. It wouldn't really make sense to start with a hi-hat roll. You feel me? It's already, the sample is playing. The sample just started, so I don't really like to add my hi-hat rolls right there. So where would I add my hi-hat rolls? I'm gonna give us some examples. In front of a snare always sounds good. I could add them right here, for example. last bar also sounds good. Right, of course, I'm gonna not do that since I might be doing too much. So I'm gonna just find the sweet spots in the sample, the gaps in the sample, and where the hi-hat rolls will sound good. I'm gonna just create a hi-hat pattern right here, and then I'm gonna explain to y'all why I added certain elements in the hi-hats and why I added them in that spot, right? Just experimenting. Right? You can also pitch notes down. Use the pitch. Right? Pitch it down even more. Sounds good as well. I like that. So now I got the foundation set down. I'll just copy it over and make some adjustments on this part so it's not the same. Of course, you could keep it like this, but I like to make adjustments. Pitch it down even more. Also sounds good. I like this right here. Yeah. So next what you can do is, of course, play around with the velocities. As y'all can see, I already did that since the lower pitched hi-hat rolls usually are very loud. So I like to pitch those down or change the velocity, lower the velocity on those. Next, you can do Alt or Option R to randomize the velocities like this. If you want to add some swing to the hi-hats. Also sounds good. I'm just add some subtle velocity randomization to it. You can also randomize the panning. If that's something you want to go for. I'm gonna just leave it in the center since I might pan it out. Add some subtle velocity randomization to it, you feel me? I like that. So next for the main snare, I usually like to add a counter snare to my beats to complement the main snare, so you can take that out. But you can also just add some more snares to the main snare pattern that's being used or that's being done a lot in bigger hit songs, you feel me? Like, I hear that a lot. I don't usually do it a lot, but I hear it being done in a lot of songs. All sorts of patterns. It got full freedom on that. So for now, let's just add one right here. Since I still want to add a counter snare to it later on. That sounds good. It's not doing too much, and it sits right in the mix and with the sample, you feel me, complements it perfectly. So the hi-hat and the snare are as important as the 808 for me. Of course, the 808 has got a big role in the beat to fill out the low end, since I already took that out with the EQ, as I mentioned before. So next, I'm going to give y'all an example of a 808 and a sub bass. I'm going to give y'all both examples. So if you want your 808 to punch through the mix, I'm going to just show y'all real quick. I think a sub bass and a kick would sound better on this beat, but like I said, I'm going to just give y'all the example of the 808 real quick. I usually just add my 808 right here, get to this effects knob right here, and just boost it a little bit. So that's how I make my 808s hit loud. Damn, hit loud. And also got a soft clipper on the master. That's my master preset right there. So for the 808, of course, it's really important to follow the root notes. Of course, you don't have to, but I like to follow the root notes. Just sounds best in my opinion. Copy over the root notes and the chords. Go to the pattern and just paste it into the 808. Do Shift D to shorten the notes like this. And next, turn them up in the velocities in the piano roll. And if you follow all the steps so far, it should already sound good. Already hitting, bro. So how I approach 808 patterns is I pretty much got like 10 different approaches to 808s. I got 10 different kind of blueprints of 808 patterns that are my favorites and that 9 times out of 10 sound good. So I just kind of go through all of them and just find which one sounds best. So I'm gonna give you some examples once again. You got the 3 hits at the start. Sounds really good. You can also take out that middle one. Right. It's just about kind of putting it into sections. You got the F notes right here. So just find a pattern that sounds good in the F notes. Next, you got this A sharp. Got this section right here where the A sharp is the root note. And then we got the C. right here. So I basically just cover every single note and just play around with the notes. You feel me? You can just try stuff out until you find a pattern that you like. I like this one note right here, just a little. Build some tension to that C sharp. Of course, I could go crazy right here, but I want to leave some space right here for that C sharp to really punch through. Of course, I could go for the 3 hits right here too, but it will kind of sound too repetitive in my opinion. Double hits, I like those too. Of course, in that second part, you can make some adjustments. I might just copy this over and do that. You can also play around with the octaves. For example, like this. For example. But recently, I've really been keeping my 808 patterns fairly simple since in a lot of hit songs, you feel me, they aren't really going too crazy on the 808. You really want to leave a lot of space for the artist too in the beat. So I might want to keep this simple, right? Leave it like this. Little bridge right here that goes up to the F like that. And if you take a look at this pattern that we ended up with, the spacing between all the notes is 2 grid sizes right here. And you'll take a look at the pattern. It's pretty much what's going on a lot, and that's what really sets the bounce, you feel me? People kind of expect when the 808 is gonna hit next. Not all the times. For example, right here we only got 1 space, so that kind of catches the listener off guard a little bit. You don't want to be or want it to be too predictable, if that makes sense. So for example, this right here is a great 808 pattern. You can't go wrong with it. As for the mixing of the 808, I'm gonna just route these to the mixer track. You want to make sure that you have the soft clipper on the master right. Just want to make sure that the 808 hits above 0 decibels to really achieve that clipping effect. That's it for the mixing, bro. That's it. And that shit hitting, bro. As for the leveling of the hi-hat and the snare, I already pre-leveled a lot of my sounds in my kits. If you just drag them into the channel rack and just lay down the hi-hat pattern and set it to a mixer track, the leveling 9 times out of 10 already sounds good, you feel me? I leveled my sounds in my kits on how I usually level my sounds in my beats so that I don't have to do a lot of mixing after. So it already sounds good, you feel me? So that's it for the 808. Next, I'm going to give y'all an example of a sub bass and a kick, which I'm going to add in this beat, since I feel like that might, you feel me, it might fit the beat a little bit better than just a hard-hitting 808. You feel me? Everyone's using 808s this time of year. You feel me? So let's also get that sub bass from my Make-Believe collection. Get this signed sub. Been using this a lot. My favorite sub bass to use. And sub basses, I really want to keep those simple. Create this envelope shape so that the 808 or the sub bass stops as soon as I let go. Right, copy these root notes and paste them into the sub bass. And sub basses, you feel me, they don't hit as loud as 808s do, and they don't really have the same notes as you would add on an 808, for example. You feel me? That might be too much. A sub bass is there to just fill out the low end, and the kick is there to really add that punch to it. So with sub bass, I usually leave them as minimal as possible. I might make some cuts since I don't want the sub bass to just be playing all the time. So I'm just give y'all an example. This right here already sounds good. Very simple. So this is what you could just end up with and it will sound good, no doubt. For example, you can just cut out some sections. For example, right here. Makes this part hit just a little bit harder since it cuts out. Do the same right here. I can also add some glide notes to it. That one right here. I'll pitch it up. You'll be able to hear it. Right. Like how that sounds. Just copy that over. You can use this note, same as we did with the 808. Feel me? Fades into that F real nice. Pitch it up. Right, sounds really good. That's how I'm gonna leave it. So sometimes I like to add a little bit of distortion to my sub basses just to make them noticeable on smaller speakers, right? Also received some comments of people asking me, why would you add a sub bass if you can't hear it? That's not the point of a sub bass. It's not really the purpose of hearing a sub bass, just like you will hear an 808, right? But I don't add my sub basses to be able to hear them, but to be able to feel them. You feel me? If you're listening to a car, listening to the beats in your car, for example, or on headphones, for example, instead of your iPhone speaker. Of course, you won't be able to hear them on an iPhone speaker, but on headphones, you will. On speakers, you will. On festivals, you will. You feel me? In concerts, like big venues, you will be able to really feel the sub bass really just vibrating, you feel me? And especially with sub basses, if you're listening in a car, your whole car will just blow up, bro, if I'm listening to my beats in the car. But you can add some distortion to your sub basses just to be able to hear them on phone speakers, for example. So I like to use this fruity fast distortion. Turn the mix down, though. That's how they achieve that. For the ones who know that one 808, you feel me? That one distorted spins 808. It's just some high end added onto the 808. Because what distortion does is basically makes up higher frequencies. You can just mix this into the beat to the point where it sounds good. So I'm gonna do that. Of course, this is too much. I like this. Yeah. So of course, there's not really any low end really punching through and setting a tempo. So that's what I'm gonna do with the kick. Here's my go-to kick from my rookie season drum kit. As you can see, it's already really loud. So you can just layer this kick on top of a sub bass and it will already punch through the mix without really having to do a lot of mixing. And with the kick, of course, you can kind of follow the same pattern or rhythm as you did with the 808. Like, that's the point of an 808, to really set the tempo. And the point of the kick is also to set the tempo. So I'm pretty much going to be using the same 2 grid size gap in between the notes just to, yeah, serve the same purpose as the punch in the kick. Or an 808, I meant. For example. Double hits on kicks also go crazy. Oh, that's hard too. Lower this velocity a little bit. That's hard. For example, I'm just leave it real simple. It's hard too. So now I like to clip my kick to really kind of distort the melody so that it kind of sounds the same as an 808, just hitting really loud, since it's hitting loud. That's hard. You can also make sure that the or sidechain the sub so that it ducks when the kick plays. Just show y'all real quick the sidechain. And what you do is go to the kick, right click the sub mixer track, go to sidechain to this track. Next, open up a limiter on the sub and go to this compression. I don't know what this means. Go to sidechain, right click, go to kick, play around with the loudness. That's how much the sub is going to duck. This release is going to decide how quick or how slow you want the sub to come back up. And the attack is, of course, how fast you want it to duck. So I want it to duck right away, and it's all about how fast it comes up. Pause. Y'all take a look at this sub right here. If I just boost the release, it's not even coming up, you feel me? Gotta give the sidechain that honey pack, right? Gonna be quick. Like that. It's an artistic choice too. If I play with the threshold, as you can see, it ducks really low. Just want it to be subtle. It's also a way of adding more bounce to the drums. The feel me? Just adds that little bit more swing to it. That's hard, bro. And that's pretty much it for the 808 and the sub and the kick. So that's pretty much it for this section right here. So now you could just leave your drums like this, and for songs that are being played on the radio and all that stuff, that's usually everything that's being added to the drums. Very simple. You feel me? All the main industry producers that I've met in person and that I've seen make beats in person, right, usually all their hit songs just consist of a drum pattern with a snare, hi-hat, 808, maybe an open hat, maybe a counter snare, and that's about it, you feel me? They don't really be going crazy on the percussion and all that stuff. So for the sake of this beat, of course, I'm gonna add a open hat to it, like this. And I'm gonna just cover that first, show y'all some different patterns that I like to add. You can just add it on the first bar. That's always a safe option. Kind of follow the sub bass pattern, right? Kind of adds more impact to it, but I like to kind of swing my open hats around the snares and around the kicks. For example. Oh, I like that. Take that first one out right there. But that might be too much, you feel me? Delay this last one right here. That's tough. That's for the mixing. Of course, the leveling already, it's about right. You feel me? I usually just push the open hat a little bit below the hi-hat. And I like to pan that out. You feel me? Turn this down. Sounds really good. Yeah, that's about it for the open hats. You can really go 1,000 different ways of approaching the open hat pattern, but usually I just like to keep it pretty repetitive since I don't want it to clash too much or take away some bounce that the other drums are adding, right? Since it's not the most important drum element for me. Same as with the counter snare, which I'm going to cover now. My favorite counter snare, definitely this one out of my Hat Snare drum kit. Yeah, I usually like to swing this around the snare. I don't really be focusing too much on the other drum elements, but I usually, since it's called a counter snare, it's not as important as the main snare, so you can just kind of swing this around the snares. 9 times out of 10, I'll just add this pattern right here, like. This right here. But you can also try some unique patterns. Already added that main snare right here, so I'm gonna take it up. I like these two, so I'm gonna find something to add in the first 2 bars. I like this too. Add a little snare roll right here. Do Alt or Option U. Brings up this chopper. Very subtle. Also play around with the 6th beat right here. That's hard too, bro. For the leveling of that snare, I'm gonna just leave it below the main snare since it's not as important as the main snare. I might be doing too much right here. That's hard too. You can play around with velocities, panning. Well, hold on. My panties out. That's hard, bro. That's hard. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the counter snare. Of course, you can just add them wherever you want. For example, I like this right here, man. So recently I've been adding a lot of cymbals to my beats too. On the first bar, just to enhance that impact. I like to use this one out of my make-believe collection. I just add it on the first bar. It's basically a cymbal too, as same as with the open hat, hi-hat. You feel me? Whoa, maybe since you can see these ghost notes right here, that's the sub bass. Maybe just layer the cymbal on the sub bass. That's hard, bro. That's hard. Turn that shit down and just leave it like this. Maybe add this in the second 8 bars of the hook. You feel me? Like, it just punches in nice. That's solid. I'm gonna just add a little percussion to it just to show y'all where I would add the percussion next. Let's go Rick Season drum kit, get something really simple. You can go for something like this. But add it right there. Of course, it depends what kind of sound you want to go for. Add this one. You can go like a million different ways with this. That's cool. Yeah. Feel me? Like, for example. Oh, that's why I added the counter snare. For example, bro. I like to pan my percussion out too. You feel me? Pan it all the way to the right. A little bit more noticeable that way. For example, man. And with percussion, you feel me? Like, you can add it wherever you want and it will sound good as long as you kind of turn it down a little bit. You feel me? Add a triangle to it real quick. That's tough, bro. Turn it down a little bit and that's pretty much it, man. Yeah, I'm satisfied how this turned out, man. For the mixing, that's about it. You can also decide to have a little EQ on the master just to boost that low end a little bit if you're feeling like your mix is muddy. Right? Very subtle, maybe. That's all the mixing I do to all of my beats, man. For the people asking, how do you make your 808s hit that hard? This 808 right here. That's all I do, bro. You feel me? Like, the sub sounds a little bit better on this beat. That's it. And after all that, these are all the sounds that we used. We got 8 layers in the drums, but of course, you can pretty much take these out if you wanted to. The open hat, snare, the counter snare I meant. Then the percussion elements, so the sub, kick, hi-hat, snare is what's most important. Next, with the arrangement, I'm gonna not go too in depth on that. I've made videos on arrangement in the past, but I can make an updated video on arrangement too if y'all want me to. Make sure to drop a comment, man. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it for me when it comes to the drums. If y'all got any questions regarding drums, this is the video to leave y'all's questions. I'll respond to every single one of y'all's questions if I didn't cover it in the video. Like, of course, make sure you watch the entire video. But if y'all got any questions, drop them under this video and I'll read them and reply. So that's about it, man. I'm gonna just give y'all a little preview of the beat. Yeah, that's about it, man. That's what we ended up with. Complements it perfectly, bro. Take the open hat out right here. Little gap right here. Even the drums by himself, bro. Got a lot of movement to him. Yeah. Alright, man, so that's about it for today's drum tutorial. Really want to thank y'all for watching the video all the way to the end. It means a lot, man. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Of course, we're close to 80,000 subscribers on the channel. I believe we're at 77,000, something like that. So I'm really trying to hit 80,000 on the channel, man. Really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to like the video. If you like the drum sounds that I used in today's video, don't forget to go to the first link down in the description, dirkey.shop. I got all my kits on there, every single drum sound that I use in all of my videos and in all of my beats. And that's about it for today's video, man. Don't forget to follow me over on Instagram as well to stay notified when I drop new videos and all that stuff. So I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video, man. I'm out.